back to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. Now it's time for the Politics Lead. She has a new book out about the meaning of Christmas, or at least what it means to her. And I could say something here like Sarah Palin is back, but the truth is, as you and I know, the former Alaska governor and former vice presidential candidate never really left. I sat down with Governor Palin just a short time ago, earlier today, and with all the talk about elephants in the room, to steal a phrase from Time magazine, of course I had to ask for her unvarnished take on 2016.
So I know you wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton if she ran for president, but I remember in '08, after you got the nod, you talked about the unfair media treatment that Hillary Clinton got when she was running for president.
Yes.
And you probably feel like you got some of that unfair media treatment as well. Sexism. If there's any woman out there thinking of running for president, what can she expect?
She could expect that sexism, but you overcome it. You know, you ignore it. You do thicken your skin, and you march forth with your message, your priorities, your agenda that you believe is right for America. Yeah, Hillary Clinton was mistreated when it came to appearances, when it came to wardrobe, you know, petty, superficial things that the men don't ever seem to hear much about, but a woman candidate will.
Governor Christie hears about his appearance.
That's because it's been extreme, okay? So it's hard for some people not to comment on it. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, though, I'll never forget Bill Clinton saying about Barack Obama and his story, his agenda, you know, that it was the biggest fairy tale he'd ever seen, and he was right, because Barack Obama was not qualified, he was not prepared, and that the manifestation of that today is the problem that we see left and right in our economy.
You obviously feel very passionate about these issues. Why are you not in office anymore? Why don't you run for Senate? There's a Senate seat coming up.
Oh my goodness, because there are millions and millions of good Americans who have the ability and desire to serve, and you know, I want to help find those people and help propel them into positions of leadership. But
don't you think you could have more of an influence?
I am one to know that you don't need a title, you don't need a position to make a difference.
Obviously, the Republican Party is going through a debate right now about where its soul is. I saw an article over the weekend, Senator John McCain, your friend and former running mate, talking about how some people were urging him to run for president again in 2016. It doesn't sound like he's necessarily interested in it, but he is talking about how the government shutdown in his view was a mistake, and how there are some people who think he could help right the ship. If it weren't for your relationship with him, I can't help but think that he personifies things that you don't like.
Well, Senator McCain and I have never been shy about expressing the fact that we agree to disagree on some issues. But, you know, I have respect for his service, not only to our country in the military, but in the Senate. And I will never badmouth Senator McCain. I have no desire to. I have no, there's no need for me to do so.
I don't want you to, and I admire your loyalty to him. I guess I'm just saying, the divide right now between the establishment Republicans who want to compromise, who want to do deals, whether it's immigration reform, whether it's the budget. John McCain is hated by a lot of the people who love you.
Well, I want the Republican Party, kind of that leadership of the machine of the party, to really stiffen its spine and not be squishy on some of these issues, because this time in America when we're on a path towards bankruptcy, we can't afford to be squishy on issues unless common sense conservatives get together and vote in leaders who understand how important it is to defend our republic and protect the Constitution.
Leaders like Ted Cruz, you've spoken very...
I absolutely am on Team Ted Cruz and Senator Mike Lee, Rand Paul, these guys who, they're merely fulfilling their campaign promises. People had to focus on what Obamacare really entailed, because Ted Cruz had the guts to stand up on the Senate floor and say, look, this is bad for our country. This will bankrupt our country. It's taking over 1/6 of our economy, and it's stripping our freedoms. And I'm thankful that he did what he did, and I disagree with those who say that it was a mistake for our senators to stand up and fight for America. Again, just fulfilling their campaign promises.
Mitch McConnell has said no more government shutdowns. He didn't think it was a smart idea. If you were advising Senate Republicans, would you encourage them to do it?
What shutdown? What shutdown? It was a
partial shutdown.
17-day slim down. No, a 16-day slim down of about 17% of the government. We need to rein in government. I mean, when is the time finally for people to open their eyes and for the media to open its eyes? What is the time and the magic number when it comes to debt, when it comes to this trajectory of government growth, for people to say, we do need to start slimming this thing down?
You obviously feel very passionate about the national debt. The other day you gave a speech in which you compared it to slavery.
To slavery, yes. And that's not a racist thing to do, by the way, which I know somebody's going to claim it is.
Don't you ever fear that by using hyperbole like that, obviously you don't literally mean it's like slavery, which cost millions of people their lives, and there was rape and torture. You're using it as a metaphor, but don't you ever worry that by using that kind of language, you risk obscuring the point you're trying to make?
There is another definition of slavery, and that is being beholden to some kind of master that is not of your choosing. And yes, the national debt will be like slavery when the note comes due.
So you're not worried. I mean, I'm taking it as a no, that you're not concerned about the language.
I'm not one to be politically correct, evidently, and okay. No, I don't worry about things like that, because no matter what I say, no matter what a lot of conservatives say, they'll be targeted, and distractions will be attempted to be made to take the listener and the viewer's mind off what the point is by pointing out, oh, she said the word slavery in a speech, and I did say the word slavery because I want to make a point.
But you can understand why African Americans or others might be offended by it, though.
I can, if they choose to misinterpret what it is that I'm saying. And again, I'm sure if we opened up a dictionary, we could prove that with semantics that are various, we can prove that there is a definition of slavery that absolutely fits the bill there when I'm talking about a bankrupt country that will owe somebody something down the line. If we don't change things, that is, we will be shackled. We will be a slave to those whom we owe.
When we come back, she's always been open about her faith, but there's one specific moment in Sarah Palin's life that stands out, the moment she became born again, and she'll share that story. I'd also open up about her daughter Bristol's life as a teen mom. All of that next as my interview with Sarah Palin continues.